Jennifer, but she did Jennifer did last week.
Hi, can everybody hear me all right? Wave your hands if you can hear me. All right. My name is Cassandra Bright, and on behalf of the University of Arkansas Fort Smith and the local chapter of the American Society of Mechanical Engineers, welcome to our campus. Welcome to #BostonStrongFortSmith. Thank you for coming out tonight to show support for the victims of the Boston Marathon bombing and also the people in our own community, everybody here. This event... Okay, I'm going to try to be louder. Sorry about that. This event tonight is as much for Fort Smith and our running community as it was for the volunteers, spectators, and runners who were in Boston 2 weeks ago today. I'd like to thank ASME for sponsoring the program, Student Affairs for their tireless assistance in planning and preparing for all of you to be here, Math Club, Gamma Eta, the Housing and Resident Life Organization for running water stations, ASME Section Advisor Dr. Michael Reynolds, George McFall, who you'll hear from in just a moment, the President of the Western Arkansas Runners, and Rose Deal, President-elect of the Western Arkansas Runners, for their efforts in making tonight a success. This run is not just for the people who won't be coming home. It's for the runners who didn't finish. It's for the runners who can't run. It is to celebrate humanity and our undying effort to make the world a better place in the face of evil. We want Fort Smith to run together. We want to show our strength and our unity. We want to run for those who lost friend, limb, or life on Patriots Day. We're running to make sense of a tragedy in the best way we know how. Up next is Dr. Crable. He's the Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs, who has shown unparalleled enthusiasm for this event tonight. Dr. Crable.
Woo! Thank you very much. Welcome to UAFS. You know, this would absolutely not have happened if it weren't for a student who really displayed caring and compassion in the aftermath of the tragedy in Boston, Cassandra Bright. So let's give her a round of applause.
Right on.
Because we're entering the very last week of classes and we don't have programs as we go into finals. So kudos for pulling something off. It's an enormous turnout in very short notice. I'm very proud of her. I also want to note that in Boston, among those who lost their lives in this tragedy were a university police officer from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, so one of our fellow higher ed people. Anyone who races, whether to win or finish, knows the camaraderie that emerges, the friendships formed, and the lives that are enriched. My last marathon was in 1991, 22 years ago, so I pulled out an old t-shirt that I haven't worn since then. Actually, it's from 1988. I'm just sorry that it was black, but that's what was in there. But I did that to show solidarity with our fellow runners, fans, and race supporters in Boston. That's what this event is for. The funds that you donate will all go to the One Boston Fund to help defray expenses. Interestingly, the marathon has always been associated with suffering, pain, and even death, but not this kind. And we hope it will never be again. Pheidippides, for those of you that know your history, was a Greek runner who ran from the plain of Marathon to Athens to announce the Greek victory over the Persians. And according to legend, then he announced after running some 22 miles plus and then collapsed and died. We salute Pheidippides tonight. We salute the Boston Marathon runners. We salute the fans. We salute the first responders who were there in Boston and in the River Valley. We salute the fighting spirit which leads us and others to continue to discipline our bodies to make them strong. May we all use those bodies in the service of others. And now a word from Mr. George McFall, representing another one of our sponsors, the Western Arkansas Runners.
Hello everyone, I'm George McFall, President of Western Arkansas Runners Club, based here in Fort Smith. On behalf of our running club members, we want to thank the University of Arkansas Fort Smith, Cassandra Bright, and the American Society of Mechanical Engineers for organizing this event and asking us to be a part of it. This event is an opportunity for the running community and the residents of Fort Smith to come together to show our collective support to those affected by the Boston Marathon bombing 2 weeks ago today. I recall sitting at my desk at work when one of my coworkers told me about the bombing. I couldn't believe it. Then I saw the reports online, and then it became reality. And I said out loud, why would someone do this? I was in disbelief, and then that quickly turned to panic because two of our own running club members were running in the Boston Marathon that day. They are Mary Jo Brinkman, who is here this evening, and Abrina Ryan. It took quite a while to get an update on their status. There was so much chaos obviously going on in Boston at that time, but eventually we did get an update on both runners, both safe. We found out later that Abrina was in an earlier wave that had come through before the bombing actually took place, and then Mary Jo, we found out, was about a half a mile from the finish line when it happened. And you may have saw the news reports, the interview that Mary Jo did. She didn't really know what was going on until she approached a police officer who told her basically that there was no finish line, that it had just been blown up. And I can only imagine what went through her face, her mind, and the other runners' minds when they found out what had happened. She was able to finish the race, and I remember getting the text message, and I was so thankful to at least get that message showing that she had crossed the finish line, but still did not know how she was doing. There were 37 Arkansans in all registered to run in the marathon, and we are very thankful that they all returned home safely. The day after the bombing and the day after, our running club members joined other runners from across the country and in other countries to run for Boston. And we did this not just for one day, not just for 2 days, but to be honest, we're still continuing that today, running for Boston with our Runners United to Remember bib. And we posted several pictures on our Facebook page that you can check out. But I do appreciate our runners and all the runners here in Fort Smith doing what they could to show their support for Boston. We are here today to honor those that died and the nearly 200 people who were injured. We run and walk today for those who no longer can because they lost the ability to do so when the bombs went off. We run strong. We run for Boston. Thank you. We turn it back over to Katrina.
Woo!
I just want to say thank you one more time to each and every one of you that came out in support of this event. Unity is something that you can't do by yourself. That wouldn't make sense. So I want to say thank you so much to everybody. One of the major reasons we're here today is to honor those that died. Martin Richard, he was the youngest victim. He was only 8 years old. Crystal Campbell and a Boston University student from China, Lu Lings, were also near the finish line. Martin was waiting for his father, Crystal was waiting on a friend, and Lou was just a spectator. We must also remember the MIT police officer, Sean Collier, who was killed by the suspects, and the nearly 200 people who were injured. So for them, we will now observe a 30-second moment of silence for these individuals, and it will be followed by additional information for starting our run. So please join me now for the 30 seconds of silence. All right, thank you very much. Now we'll be able to begin our run. We're going to leave the bell tower, exit this direction towards Kincaid. We will be running in a counterclockwise direction. There are signs posted. There are water stations with balloons and friendly faces. Please try to get your cups in the trash cans. If not, help clean up afterwards if you'd like to. This run was set for 3 laps for the 3 people who died at the marathon. That's not a hard cap. If you don't want to do 3, if that's not far enough, do whatever you'd like to do. The point is we're here. When you complete however many laps you'd like, we will be here at the bell tower. We've had several people from local businesses donate things. Several of you filled out tickets for these items. Just come back and enjoy more fellowship with your fellow runners. with that being said, what we will do is hold up this banner. We'll all stand behind it until we get to Kincaid, all walking together in unity. And once we get there, feel free to safely break away at your own pace. So I'm going to get behind the sign. Are you guys ready?
I guess volunteered.
We'll see how we do.
To us. No.